Alright, finally got some time where start working on the Volkswagen again. So sorry for such a long updates. Just finally got a little time, got caught up on things. So today I came across a set of junk heads that are cracked. So what I'm gonna do is take my good heads off and put the junk ones on there so I can get started on pretty much porting these out, get the valve springs, valve seats on, and then with the other heads I'll be able to, mock up all the turbo stuff, not have to worry about it, while I'm tacking everything, a little piece of slag gets in there and, damage that head. So, a buddy of mine that gave me, pretty much the crap heads, appreciate it, man. So, I'm gonna get a few tools together and we'll get started on pulling the front radiator support, actually be just the headlight supports, pull all this off, and then we'll get the heads off, the good heads, and then put the junk ones on. So, be right back. Okay, grab the heads, also just the oil pan that came off of this, so I can get that back on there. Getting tired of the cover coming off, from the underneath side, and I don't want anything blowing in there. Now that I know we're going to end up reinforcing the subframe instead of trying to build one around the oil pan, so that'll give us an opening so I can run any oil pan that I want, low profile still, and I believe it's a 6.5, 7 quart. Flares out at the bottom, remote oil cooler and filter. So yeah, let's get busy on it, and then as well as we'll end up cutting the radiator support because we're not using a radiator support anymore. The only section that we're using is just for the headlights, is the only thing that we're going to be using it for. So I guess let's get started tearing it apart. Alright, now we're going to use the junk heads that I have, so I'm going to be putting these on. A friend of mine gave these to me, so they actually cracked inside where the valves are, and it was getting compression into the water jackets. So since he doesn't need them, and I just need them for a mock-up, which actually works out perfect, so I'm going to get these thrown on right now. Now these are on, I don't have to worry about running my good heads over there. So now the next step, I need to put bowl pan on. So that'll help keep any moisture from getting inside this block. Because like I said, I put the thicker trash bags, and I lined the block with masking tape along with the water ports, and it's all been oiled down. Pulled the tape back, it still looks nice and shiny in there, so glad that worked out, especially after going through a hurricane with all the rain and wind. I got kicked up underneath, nothing got in it. So now we're going to put the oil pan on. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is, since I'm reusing the factory exhaust manifolds, what I'm gonna do is flip them where the flanges are facing forward. I'll end up cutting those off and putting the V-bands on there, and pretty much running all the exhaust pipe to the turbo right up in this area, and then the downpipe will squeeze right in through by the transmission and the fender well. Not the fender well, the firewall. Jeez, can't get nothing right today. So just put a couple bolts in it and we'll be good. Where are you at? There we go. There's Uno. You know. Alright. Oh, this power steering's getting on my nerves. I don't know why driver's side's always got to be a little more snug than the passenger side. Either way, we'll make do. So I want to build this to where things are still pretty well easy for accessibility wise. You know, if I need to do plugs or wires, I don't have to tear a whole bunch of stuff apart. Because I see so many turbo manifolds out there where it makes it almost impossible to run, you know, regular wires and plugs in there. You got to get the short header plugs, and then you got to get extremely long wires or relocate the coils to the bottom of the block or somewhere else. I still want to be able to run my coils up top and just the factory wires going down. So that is the reason why I'm taking and just flipping my exhaust manifolds forward but facing down, so my exhaust pipes can go down underneath. They'll both join up. Well, this one, oh man, I can't think today. Between excited and tired. Anyways, they'll both, driver's side will come down around underneath the balancer. This side, I'll end up coming underneath this frame horn and coming up, and have them both joined right here, because got a really good mock-up turbo off of a International, and the way that will be, kind of a general idea, the turbo is going to set probably about right in here, so that'll make it nice and easy to run the exhaust you know, where I don't have a lot of heat in one concentrated area. And plus air will go through there to keep my exhaust cool, to keep the heat away from all my, you know, the belt, the AC compressor, everything. And then, like I said, downpipe, I'll either squeeze through here, or I may try to run it, I don't know, a different direction, trim some of the inner fender out here, and then come out and then come back in. As far as intercooler piping, real simple. You know, it'll be straight down into the intercooler, come out and into the throttle body. I still want it pretty simple. I don't, you know, I don't want it to look like a nightmare to work on. I want it to be real easy to work on, you know, as easy as I can get it. And still, parts would be easy. Have a manifold that cracks, and just go to any parts store and get a manifold, instead of having to order all this, custom that. Because most of your stuff that fails is either going to be a manifold, or you're going to cook a wire, or little things like that. I'd like to be able to go to the store, any parts store, and get the parts for it. So, same way with the drive belt assembly. Guys over there at Classic Chevrolet, we got a new program at work. I'm able to find the CTSV front drive assembly really cheap. And I have all the bolts, you know, to bolt it on, so that'll bring, you know, my power steering and alternator up a little higher. Compressor, I may have to go aftermarket to bring it up top, because I'm not going to have the room down here, which I might. It depends on how I cut this manifold, but if not, I'll just bring the the AC compressor up here, alternator and power steering will be high mount, and that would be easy. And still, if that compressor goes out, I just go to the parts store. If something happens to one of the brackets, I just log on to Classic Chevrolet up there. Sugarland is where it's at, Sugarland, Texas. Look them guys up, and, you know, get my front drive accessory brackets. So right now, clean some of this up, and then we'll start cutting the front radiator support, cut the center section out, and only keep what I'm using, which is for the headlights, and the rest, the front section will be completely cut out. So get things situated. Alright, got everything set up. I just got a couple bolts in this front radiator support, and I'm going to do, see where I want to cut it, because if I cut this, I may end up leaving the bottom mounts on this, where I can either set the intercooler in there or use those for either the radiator or something. I don't know, when we get to that point. So I guess we'll get the marking and seeing where we're going to cut this. Okay. Now that's a sight to see. I really want to run this truck intake, but because it's set so damn high, or dang high, I'd have to trim the front part of the hood. I don't know, we'll see on that. I may do it and get a cowl hood for this. The only other thing I'd have to do is take and bubble the back side to where it'll clear and scoop back, because I like about a ½ inch, well, yeah, about a ½ inch where it'll go in and bolt on. So it's there. It would be awfully nice to see that coming at you and the turbo sticking out. Who knows? May do that. Might end up doing it. We'll see. Well, I think that's going to be it for tonight. Daylight savings kind of killing my light here, which kind of sucks. But love to run the truck intake if I can, without having to bubble the back of the firewall much more. Turbo, more or less that's where it's going to be. End up probably lowering it down about an inch, 2 inches at the most. So I want to get this thing alive and up and running, at least fire it up. So, but hopefully next week be able to order some more parts, mainly for the motor, get the cam, the Pac 12-18 springs, my rod bolts, because you can't reuse those, and then all my gaskets. And I'm just going to end up using the, like I was saying earlier, the factory GM head bolts. I'm not trying to make any kind of crazy, boost, high horsepower. Really, the downfalls of living really close to an airport. But if anybody's got any suggestions, what you would do, let me know. Comment down below. Also, I still have the Volkswagen motor for sale. Due to the hurricane, the guy that was going to get it had some issues, which I understand, so it's back up for sale and lowered the price a little bit. So, anybody that wants it, let me know. But yeah, I think that's it. I'm beat. It's been a long week, especially today. Tomorrow's Monday. Oh, what fun. But other than that, that's it. And hopefully some of the parts start rolling in next week, and hopefully get some more ordered when we get back on this, because I got the F100 coming back where we can finish wiring up the last little bit of stuff. Steering column came in, a few more little things that we needed for the wiring. So get that done, get that out of here, then I can really concentrate on this. I just want to see it up and going on its own power. But other than that, if you like, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more on the channel between this, F100, plus some other builds. I'm really trying to get back in the routine of making videos, but it's life gets in the way. What do you do? So other than that, stay tuned and see what happens next.